Welcome to the Art of Money podcast with Art McPherson.
And thanks for checking out the Art of Money podcast. My name is Mark Owens alongside Art McPherson and Luke McCarty. All the information for the McPherson Financial Group, you can find it at theartofmoneyradio.com. You know, we're always talking about President Biden, his attempt to raise taxes, but the Motley Fool says we also need to remember that we'll probably face taxes on the local level as well, especially when it comes to the form of higher property taxes. So, do you include those kind of expenses when you help clients design that retirement strategy?
We definitely include those because a lot of people have, this thought in their mind that if I can just pay my mortgage off before I retire, right, that cost is gone. Well, you still have your property taxes, you still have your insurance, and those tend to go up every year. We've seen extravagant growth in the value of our homes over the past couple of years, especially since COVID. So property taxes they're just going to continue to rise as the money supply continues to increase, as Art's favorite government clips another branch off the endless money tree right. And passes it around, right? Things are just going to keep going up. So that means expenses are going up, inflation's going up, your property taxes are going up. So, the solutions around that, right? Maybe you need to downsize. Maybe you just need a plan that says, if I pay off my mortgage, now I have this extra money, plus I need to keep some reserved to pay the property taxes when they go up. There's a lot of different ways around it, but having cash in the bank isn't always the right answer.
Right. You want to make sure that you're in a position to help minimize that taxation, because you can be, in Brevard County, we're not like it is on the other side of the state where everything is just super, super high price. But if you're touching the water or you're in that beautiful area called Vieira, like where Luke lives, you're going to pay some pretty good property tax in those areas. So you might want to downsize, move to a different area where the property taxes are historically lower and be able to kind of include that in your forecasting budget in retirement. So sometimes we see our clients go from a big, beautiful home with a lot of acres of land to a condo, or maybe to a couple condos. They have a couple of their favorite places that they love to go and visit, and then they play the 6 months here, 6 months away. So it's just really fitting taxation as a part of your retirement planning and making sure it fits what you're trying to do and what your retirement looks like.
We need to start preparing to pay higher bills this winter, along with just about everything else, because the government expects households to see their heating bills to jump up as much as 54% compared to last winter. Now, for retirees, this is just another example of how inflation could really eat into a retirement cash pretty quick. So do you suggest a readjustment of their plan to cope with these high prices?
Within our plans here, we're always adjusting for higher inflation rates. For example, at the beginning of the year, right, we got out of certain bond ETFs and certain fixed income in general, because when interest rates rise, the price of your bond goes down, right? Because you can buy a better one tomorrow or next week because prices went up. So having too many of your eggs in the very, very conservative basket, or at least what historically has been conservative of bonds, right? You could be down 1.5%, 2% for the year. Where we're seeing this article come out, and I've seen several articles about this, about how expensive this winter is going to be. Well, here in Florida, just don't turn on your heater, right?
Right.
But maybe you're not using the hot tub as much, or the pool heater. But we have clients that live out of state, that live in the mountains, that live up north, and this is a big concern. This could be a really expensive winter. So, plan for it, prepare for it. Just the old adage of keep up with inflation. But now we're going to see our heating jump up. We're seeing our gasoline prices at the pump jump up. So it may be a different winter than what some of us are used to.
So does that also affect the local economy? And the reason I say that is because now that I know that our heating bill is about to double, well, I'm not going to go out to the movies as much, or maybe I'm going to hold off on those extra, nice nights out at a local restaurant or whatnot, or maybe a small weekend vacation, because I know, well, this is about to hit my heating bill. So does this all spread across this inflation hurt everybody in the economy?
I think it does in general. Now, if the government keeps spending money, it won't hurt, but it'll just hurt us on the back end. There's going to be a point where we as consumers, we as American citizens, right, we slow down our spending. We do what you just mentioned, right? Maybe we don't go to the pizza place with our kids and five friends on a Saturday night because the pizza is going to cost too much. That's going to come to a point. I hope it doesn't get there, but that's always a concern. It's kind of the same thing when you look at oil prices, right? We see oil jumping up, and a barrel of oil is now in the 80s, $80+ a barrel. Well, it's gotten to 100, 120, I think. 130, I think, a little bit for a while there back, 10, 15 years ago. But the economy didn't necessarily slow down. it just hurt more.
Yeah.
Maybe people didn't save as much. People went into a little bit more debt, and that's not good either.
So it's important to have that plan together to navigate what the future holds. And we know inflation isn't going anywhere. And something we've been talking about this weekend is how taxes are coming at you from every different angle. And just make sure your plan looks right as you head into retirement. And if you're ready for that second opinion, see if some adjustments need to be made as we get into the holiday season. Well, this weekend, Art McPherson and the team at the McPherson Financial Group, they want to extend an invitation to build you a complimentary retirement plan. And this has no obligations, but it's just good this weekend for the next 5 callers. No fees attached. 321-425-8550. Always online at artofmoneyradio.com. Before we get out of here this week, I saw an interesting survey, Luke, that caught my eye. And this came from the University of Michigan. And it said the number of 70-year-olds that have a current will has declined about 12% over the last 3 decades. Now, it's even more dramatic that almost 27% of those who are only 50 years old. So what is happening? Why are people declining to get a will lately? I mean, do you recommend getting a will to your clients?
Yes, we definitely recommend getting a will, getting your estate planning done. That article is kind of shocking because you would think, you'd want to have written out what happens to you when you pass. But the hard part about it is, and we're human too, right? Me, Art, Mark, we're all human. Mm-hmm. We don't want to talk about ourselves dying. We don't want to talk about our spouses dying. So it's a hard conversation to have. But if you do it correctly, you may only need to have it once. Now, a lot of our clients and a lot of prospects, people coming into the door or asking questions are sometimes confused about the will. So a will is instructions for the probate court. So it's instructions that you gave out that says, here's where things go. But the probate court is the one who divvies up the assets. Well, the probate court's going to charge your estate money. There are going to be attorneys involved. It may cost you upwards of 3% in the state of Florida. So a will, as it stands alone, yes, it may help your assets, your car, your coin collection, whatever, go in the right direction.
Right.
But you need estate planning for your house. Right, you need the right beneficiaries on all of your accounts. And so there's a lot more planning involved, and wills are important, but do you need a trust? So there's a lot of things we can help answer for you here, kind of give you that, that help within your consultation.
Sure. We
have, several attorneys that we work with. We're getting ready to have one even more permanent here on staff in the office.
Great.
That's in the works. So we are definitely well-versed, and we can help you on that complimentary consultation without going to pay the attorney $350 an hour. So we can kind of break it down. Do you need a will? Do you need a trust? What do you do with your house? There's a lot of things that go into play. So just make sure the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted,
sure,
right, before something bad happens to you, because we're all going to get there someday.
Because it sounds like, there's more to a will than just filling out a couple of pieces of paper. I mean, that can include the estate, that can include the legacy plan, that can include the trust. Like, there's different layers to it. It's not as simple as it sounds. Is that what you're saying?
It's not as simple as it sounds, and it doesn't all work the way you think it will. If you just have a will and you pass, right, your house is going to probate in the state of Florida. So there's certain estate planning techniques you can add to it. It costs you a couple $100, and now your house gets passed down directly to a person or to someone instead of going through the will, going through the probate court. So estate planning is very, very important. As we get towards the end of the year, right, stop putting it off and talk to us, talk to somebody, talk to your attorney, and get those things settled for your children, for your spouse, for your brother, sister, whomever it may be.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson. Florida Insurance License number A1 74725.
Today's show has been a work of art.